Hi there, this is Michael Niemas and this is the slot car check number 2. Today I want to present to you a Formula slot car in scale 1 to 24. It will be the J191 that was driven by Michael Schumacher for the very first time in Formula 1. The look of this car is spectacular, what I can already tell you, so just enjoy it and let's start it. So let's get started, and for sure I will take on some gloves that I won't do any fingerprints to the packing. Doesn't they look very good? I'm feeling a little bit like Michael Jackson, but I think it wasn't a white glove, it was a glove with some glitter on it or something like that. Not sure. We can see directly that the box of the J191 is a special design extra made for this car. On the right bottom we have this red dot with open here. So let's do it. Oh yeah, there it is, the J191, one of the greatest Formula 1 cars ever made. In the box is also a welcome letter from Philippe Destrée and myself. To get the car out of the box, you can pull this red stripe easily and lift it out. Not only the car is very well designed, but also the box, as you saw, and the base plate. So here I have to thank Ray from Race Time for his help and design. Under the car in the box you will find also the little torques that we will use to dismount the car from the base plate, and a little bit more later. When we have a look at the bottom of the base, we see that this is #42, so it's car 42, and this number we will also find on the outside of the box, so on the top and the side, and later you will see that we will have the same number also on the bottom of the car. But first we have to unscrew the car. Here it's important that you hold the car while turning the screw out. Now we have a first look on the chassis of the car, and we can see that there it is, number 42, so always check for matching numbers. The idea of this Formula cars of the 90s is to bring you the feeling of Formula race cars to your track. It doesn't matter if it's a club track or a home track. For you it's important to know that the car is able to race on nearly every track system what is there on the market, or also on self-made wooden tracks. You just have to have in mind that the car is scale 1 to 24, what is not small, what we can see now. Due to the fact that the car is quite wide, you have to have in mind that it would get very complicated on 1 to 32 tracks. At the rear, we see that the car is 88.5 mm wide. And now we check the front, And at the front we have 87 millimeters. So let us check the wheelbase of the car. Here I also use this caliper. And it's 123.2 millimeters. These first parameters of the weight and the wheelbase will give you an impression what a machine this will be on track. But it all brings nothing if the car is as heavy as a stone. So I check it on my funny scale because the display is a little bit weird, and we have a weight of 142.4 grams. For 1 to 24, that's very lightweight. Let's have a look on the features of the car. Here you see the rear wing that is mounted with a magnet and that can easily get off if you, for example, dislodge, or if you want to dismount it for doing something on the chassis. Maybe you have the same experience like I do. So very often on GT cars or Formula cars in the past, I broke off the rear wing and yeah, the handling was getting worse, or you have to add some weight because it was in the rules. So this is a very easy way to handle this. For the nose of the car, it's quite the same. So here the nose is mounted also with magnets, what you see here. It could be that you already realized that I struggle to hold the painted parts with the gloves because they are so slippy. So let's get off one of them. Oh yeah, that feels much more better, and I can also hold the torques. To unscrew the body, we have to turn 90 degrees two screws on the bottom of the chassis. It's easy to indicate them as they are deeper in holes than the other screws. The body can be lifted now. You see that with this system you can unmount or mount the body within seconds. In this stage, it looks a little bit like a go-kart. The driver figure is held by magnets, so he can be easily dismounted or mounted and will find always its perfect position. After the slot car check number 1 with the FW40, many people will ask me what is with the front wing if we broke or lose it. Here I can let you know that the material is extremely strong, what you can also see at the front suspension arms, so they are very thin and nearly impossible to break. When I come to the rear of the car and I just turn the wheel, I feel how smooth the gears are working. The gear ratio is 9:43. The rear part that holds everything together, so the motor, the gearing and the axle, is mounted with two suspensions, one at the rear, what we see here, and one at the front. And this gives, especially in quick corners with direction turns, an incredibly good handling. In combination with the front suspension next to the wheels, you have a state-of-the-art technical engineered chassis. So it doesn't only look very fancy, but it also drives very, very good, and you can feel it. So the experience of many years of slot racing is in this little chassis here. We have high-end ball bearings at the front and the rear of the car. A nice gadget here is that you can easily switch the guides at the front. So first you have to get out of this connector with the cables plus and minus, and then you can easily put out the guide like this. He will be held with 2 magnets, so one to hold him and one to bring him always back into the correct direction. This is what every engineer or slot racer is looking for, a guide that always comes back into the middle position. Now just the connector need to put in, and like on a platine, the power is now going to the motor. Just to have no cables here make it possible to realize such a car design. On the locker system of the car, you see that we have screws here that can be adjusted to regulate the height of the body at the middle and the front. I just want to demonstrate to you how the body will be held or unhold. So here you see you can turn this 90 degrees and it closes or opens. The same at the front. So we had a little look underneath, and now we bring the car together again. Let's have a look into the body, and here we see the 2 holes that will be held by the locker system. Now just find the correct position and put on the body. It looks good and fits very well, and now we just have to use the torques to turn 90 degrees the 2 screws to hold the body. There is a good body movement so that the suspension can work free. It's great to see also that the driver is wriggling in the cockpit. The way everything is working together is so smooth, it's just fantastic, and it's a very good feeling to have this in my hand. The nose can be easy added with the magnets. And the same for the rear wing. The resume of that car is that it's hand manufactured, it's very well designed for the maximum performance, it's hand painted, hand built, so you have a unique car in your hand. And it's looking incredibly good. And here we have the FW14 from Slot Car Check #1. I had a great opportunity to race both cars at Electric Dreams in Los Angeles, and here are some impressions. Please feel free to leave me a comment if you like this video or if you have any questions. Check out my next projects and videos, and see you soon. You're Michael from Niemas Racecars.